Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month's session of TLD's teleseminar series, where we provide some insight into various legal issues. My name is Daniel Cooper. I'm a senior litigation attorney with TLD Law based out of Long Beach. And as part of my discussion today, I wanted to go over how you can best maximize the free attorney consultations that are available to you out there in the community. And part of that is there's so many different things that people don't realize they can take advantage of as part of that initial consultation when they have a legal problem. So I'd like to tell you first about what these legal consultations are, how they work, how you can best prepare and maximize those opportunities, and then some things to think about as to when you might want to reach out for an attorney. So first, if you have a legal problem, it can be overwhelming as to where to start, where to look out to. And so many law firms and law offices that you can find on the internet will offer a free consultation as part of their intake process. But one of the things that people fail to do is to maximize their ability to get the most out of those consultations because they don't know what the attorney is really looking for. And oftentimes lawyers don't actually articulate very well what it is that they're looking for. And sometimes those initial sessions are more of an information gathering session rather than actual legal feedback. So what do I mean by that? The first thing is you should provide, if someone is offering a consultation, is you should be over-inclusive and provide as much information as you possibly can, including those key documents, and organize them in a fashion that's easy to follow for the attorney. Because even if the lawyers don't tell you this, they will review those documents typically for you because they want to give you some feedback. But if you're missing documents, for example, if you're in a contract dispute, provide the contract. If you're in a real estate dispute, provide the real estate contract. If there's an email that's causing a potential conflict between you and a business partner, you're going to want to at least discuss providing or offer to provide that information to the attorney because they can review it and then actually give you some feedback on it during that initial consultation. But what we see so often in the community is people reach out, they provide a 1-sentence or 2-sentence overview or don't want to provide a lot of information. And then that first consultation that can often be free ends up being a session where the lawyer's just asking questions to get in more information. So I don't necessarily recommend that you just data dump or just send over a bunch of information. Generally, you would want to reach out, give a very, very brief snapshot of what your case is over. So if it's a litigation issue or a dispute, a legal dispute, you might want to say, I have a dispute over a purchase of a real estate property. If it's a business dispute, you may want to say, I have a dispute with my business partner and it's over a contract. If it's, I'm being sued and I don't want to know what to do, it may be I've been sued and I have a lawsuit. I'm not sure what the next steps are. So providing that feedback, as typically law firms or attorneys are going to want to run a conflict check and at least do some initial vetting to make sure that they don't have a conflict perhaps with the other side and that they can potentially represent you. And also that the area that you're going to be asking them about is something that they're equipped or have the experience to handle. And once you kind of go through that initial stage, then it would be appropriate to offer or at least to lay out for the attorney or their assistant, who's ever gathering the information, the sort of documents that you have available and offer to send that because they may in fact review that and provide you some feedback on that during the initial consult. And how do these consults work? Well, in the age of COVID, a lot of them are being done on Zoom, where the attorney will share their screen or you have the opportunity to share your screen and share information that way. We actually now, Zoom has a great feature with a whiteboard feature where we can actually map out in a sort of a visual way how a lawsuit will work. And so that's important, and you can get some really good detailed feedback from that initial consultation. To me, it's one of the best values that the public can get are these consultations because they're generally a lower cost or they're free. The free ones tend to be more information gathering sessions. The for pay ones tend to be more legal feedback and an actual roadmap with some legal advice and options in them. So in that regard, how to maximize the consultation would be to understand, is it a free consultation or is it a paid consultation? If you're not sure, you should ask. Because if it's a paid consultation, it shouldn't just be an information gathering session. It should be an opportunity for you to forward those documents that I've talked about and actually have the attorney review them and provide some feedback. The free consultations are going to typically be someone wants to just get information from you to make sure they can actually handle your case. And so differentiating between the two is a mistake that I see often, in which you can avoid losing time and being inefficient if you kind of have a clear understanding. Is this an information gathering session, or is this an opportunity to provide actual legal documents and get feedback on them? And if it's an opportunity to get legal feedback on them, that kind of transitions to my next point is make sure you, if you can, provide a chronology of facts. Just bullet point out your 10 key facts that you can provide to the attorney, so that they have enough information to spend time actually talking about legal issues and legal solutions with you versus just gathering information. And I'll give you some examples of where people have fallen short. Someone may say, I was interested in selling a property and now my wife has changed her mind. But what often people, we learn, what they'll leave out is that the wife or the husband, they're no longer together. They may be technically married, but they don't get along, even though that they're married. And so there's a dynamic there that wouldn't be obvious to the lawyer. And that's a key fact, is that we're technically married, but we're separated and we don't get along and we don't agree on anything. That's different than we're married and we're on the same page. And that can impact the legal advice that your attorney can provide to you. So those are the sorts of things to keep in mind. In that regard, it's important to say, to reach out and ask before the consultation to the assistant or to the lawyer, what information would be helpful for you to have and how can I put it together for you so that we can maximize our time together during that consultation. And the consultation is not only an opportunity for the lawyer to give you legal advice, but it's generally a way to kind of dip your toe in the water and have an opportunity to interview the lawyer from the client's perspective. Do you like their approach? Do you like the advice they're giving? It's your opportunity to interview them and vet them. And so not only are you getting legal advice potentially in the consultation, or at least some preliminary preview of how they may approach your case, you have an opportunity to interview them. And don't miss the opportunity to ask some difficult questions. How many times has the attorney handled this particular type of case? How are they going to staff the case? That's a question you should ask during the consultation. Is the lawyer who you're talking to going to be handling the case? Or is it going to be their assistants or paralegals or other lawyers within the firm? That's totally appropriate, but you would want to know that up front, as opposed to having someone that you've never met with before actually doing the legwork on your case. And that's an appropriate conversation to have. So those are some of the sorts of things you can think about during your consultation. And don't hesitate to then follow up. Most lawyers will even do a second consultation if there's still unanswered questions. Typically, the second one at that point will be paid. But if you don't want to sign a sort of full engagement, there may be an opportunity to do a follow-up and do that on a more limited basis. So that's something to always be thinking about and to be discussing. If you have any questions about how you can maximize your consultations in the community, I'm always a resource to folks. And so you can always reach out to me if it's nothing else to say, how can I best maximize a consultation, whether it's free or paid? I'm always happy to be a resource. So feel free to call me or email me and reach out, and I'm happy to talk with you further about consultations and how to maximize them. So thanks again for joining this session of TLD's teleseminar series. I'm Daniel Cooper, a senior litigation attorney with TLD Law based in Long Beach. And I hope everyone has a great week and great rest of your month, and take care.